group photo. So if you have to reach the resource person, we are going to tag him on LinkedIn and Facebook. You can reach him there with your queries and all. So with these words, I'm thanking to again our resource person and our moderator. Let us move to next session. So I am just inviting our next resource person, Professor Ram Pratap Singh, and let me take them. And we are having our moderator for this session, Dr. Jaskaran Singh. So we welcome you, sir, and we are looking forward to learn, panel data from Professor Dr. Ram Pratap Sinha, panel Econometrics with Gretl. So we are waiting for the great lecture. Over to you, Dr. Jaskar.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Firdaus and Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association and the Jindal Global South for letting me to be the part of this important workshop. And very good afternoon, everybody present in this online workshop on econometric techniques for social sciences. As this is the last session of this day and this workshop as well. And I hope all of you attending the academic program have learned a lot through the various experts and lectures. And for sure, you are also excited to attend today's this last session where we are going to learn panel data econometrics in shaping our understanding of quantitative analysis in social sciences. In econometrics and statistics or in social sciences, when we see the panel data, it refers to a multi-dimensional data or cross-sectional time series data that generally involves measurement of some period of time of different variables. And but in particular, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our distinguished expert, Professor Dr. Ram Pratap Sinha, who will guide us through this complex and vital subject and the use of Gretl software. Uh, and Professor Ram brings his wealth of experience and deep insights into this field. He is currently giving his services in Government College of Engineering and Leather Technology in the state of West Bengal. And he is having with 32-year experience in teaching and research. He has 108 journal publications to his credit, and he has contributed in 9 edited volumes. And besides, he has also written 2 books. He is a reviewer of many reputed international as well as national journals in the area of economics, finance, and marketing. He has also guided PhD and MPhil thesis of the area of economics and marketing. He has also taught and delivered his lecture in various faculty development programs, workshops, the area of data involvement analysis and econometrics. And we are fortunate enough to have someone of his caliber with us today to share insights that will enrich our future learning of quantitative techniques. And I think in the last, this is the last session of the day, and I don't think we need to give you any kind of instruction like uh, but for the formality's sake, I'm saying please keep your mic mute during the lecture, and in the end you will get chance to ask your questions directly from Professor Ram. Now I over to Professor Ram. Sir, please unmute yourself, and now you can start your lecture.
Thank you, Dr. Jaskaran Singh. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible,
Yes.
sir. You can start.
Hello, everyone. Actually, I was not in India and returned only on yesterday. So I requested JKEA to schedule my lecture in the last session. Now, as you are aware, my topic is panel data econometrics with Gretl. Gretl is a free to use software. I think other distinguished faculties have already introduced Gretl in this particular workshop. And so for the participants, they have generated certain degree of familiarity with the use of Gretl. So assuming that, I would like to first discuss why panel data econometrics is used, and then after a quick introduction, I will move to the estimation of panel data models using Gretl.
Sorry for inconvenience, sir. Are you able to make your screen a bit more near to you, because we are unable to see you properly?
Okay. Okay. Is it better now or?
No, sir, it is same. We are only able to see your forehead. Yeah, now it is getting
Now
better.
it is okay.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, let me first share my presentation. Is the screen visible or not?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Sir, if there is issue from your side, you try to reshare again. Or there is one more option, you can share with us on WhatsApp, or in this chat box we can share on your behalf, sir.
Okay. Let me. Actually, we are more used to, more familiar with Google Meet. So very seldom we use. Let me. Let me begin again. Is it now?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible. Now you can start.
Now, what is meant by panel data? Basically, panel data is called a marriage of cross-sectional and time series dimensions. To be more specific, since I mostly work in the segment of financial institutions, I can give examples from that area. That is, we often work with the performance and with working parameters of different financial institutions, including commercial banks, insurance companies. Sometimes we try to see the parameters, how they are working in the context of mutual funds over several time periods. And that also includes a set of either banks or insurance companies or say mutual funds. And the resultant data set is called a panel data set. Now, coming to panel data set, we use panel data set for several reasons. First thing is that panel data models are capable of handling unit-specific heterogeneity. That is, although we are observing several banks for a say particular period, and this is continued over several periods, the issue in this case is that all banks are not identical. Each bank has its idiosyncratic features or bank-specific features, which are usually not properly captured either in pooled OLS model, and I can tell you from my own personal experience that
sorry for inconvenience, sir. Can you make the slide mode? So we are having two screens from your side. We are able to see your Gmail as well as your presentation.
Okay,
so
okay.
if you maximize your presentation, that will be
You
great.
can enlarge your screen.
No,
Yes.
I think
Now, yes.
now it is okay. Now,
So
now
one more thing, sir. One more thing. It will look better. So down at the right hand side of your presentation, bottom to down. So near there is 63%. There is
okay.
one small icon of full mode.
Is it what is the shortcut key? Alt plus F4 or F5?
No, sir. You just visit to down extreme down right of your presentation, where it appears 63%. Besides this 60,
Enlarge the
yes.
screen, sir. You can enlarge the screen.
No, sir. No, sir. Down you have to go where you can zoom in and zoom out. There is one small icon, full screen.
Full screen. Okay, okay.
It is beside us to 63%. The first icon. Down. Right side of your presentation at the bottom, there is 63%. Zoom in and zoom out. Beside this 63%, there is small icon where you can click and it will appear as a slide. So, yes, sir, you can take the cursor. Are you able to see this 63% zoom in and zoom out? If you have to make it. So there is, one small icon. Okay, sir, leave it. It is also, okay, sir.
Now, because I have only two slides, so that is not an issue. Afterward, as I start Gretl, I again look into this.
Yes, sir, please carry on.
Now, this is one thing, that is handling of heterogeneity. And I can tell you from my personal experience that even when we apply, say, machine learning, especially models like Lasso or other, advanced regression models, or say general additive model, even then also, sometimes the results are somewhat similar to pooled OLS models, which are incapable of capturing the group effect or farm specific effect. which is possible in the case of panel data models, whether it is of fixed effect model variety or say random effect model. Second thing is that in case of panel data, since we have multiplication of time dimension with the number of farms that are there, so degree of freedom goes up significantly. As we all know, the ability to give good results in case of regression is critically dependent on degree of freedom. So increasing degree of freedom improves this predictive ability of the model very significantly. And finally, the panel data models are much better suited for analyzing the dynamics of change, how the results, for example, suppose I have given you a data set concerning 10 years data, corresponding to the Indian commercial banks, that is starting from 2014-15 to 2023-24. Now, if we consider a particular year, we can see the cross-sectional performance of the banks. But if we, since we are considering 10 years, so we can, through the analysis, we can see how performance has been impacted by the change of time periods from period 1 to period 10. So this way, we can improve our predictive ability in a much higher way or better way, in a better manner. Okay. Now let me go to the Gretl software. You are already familiar with Gretl software. So I'm starting from the opening of file. In our case, the data I have already shared, and I'll show you the data first. I think the data file is now visible.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you consider the data file, it includes the first column is bank, second column is efficiency. Not all participants will work in this area, so I will include this at a later stage. And this for the participant, anybody who is interested about efficiency estimation and related issues, let me tell you that I have got this estimation results from the application of directional distance function model using the data envelopment analysis on the banks. And one issue connected with panel data model is that since efficiency scores are bounded from below and above, they are varying between 0 to 1. So I had to convert them into log values so that I can get rid of the restriction. But let us forget about efficiency and related issues for the time being. We also have 4 other columns corresponding to 4 variables. They are NPA ratio, capital adequacy ratio. NPA ratio is written as NPA ratio. CRAR corresponds to capital adequacy ratio, that is, it refers to capital to risk-weighted asset ratio. Then, for financial institutions and even for manufacturing sector data as well, it is often customary to apply log to total asset to get a proxy for the size. Otherwise, what happens is that the total asset value becomes so large that it is cumbersome to handle this for regression problem. So instead of taking total asset value as such, we convert them into log of total asset. And finally, we have another variable, that is return on asset, return on total asset, that is we have calculated for these banks. The banks include, let me tell you, these banks, this bank data set includes 18 private sector banks operating in India. So it does not include the public sector banks. So 18 banks are there, and we have data corresponding to 10 periods, that is beginning from 2014-15 to 2023-24. Now, let us start with Gretl model. In my case, I have, let me tell you again another thing. I have arranged like this. Many of you may not like to arrange the data in this particular format. Instead, they might consider all the data, for example, corresponding to city union banks in this first few rows. So since there are 10-year observations, so you can have 10 rows corresponding to city union bank, and obviously the year should be 1 to 10, followed by say Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank, and then you would have 10 rows corresponding to Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank, and obviously the years will be 1 to 10. Whatever you do, you can arrange this way or you can arrange in that manner also. Best thing for operating Gretl is to first declare that your data set is a panel data set, and we can forward this. Now, we have to use index variables so that there is no room for confusion. That is, we will use indicator variables corresponding to cross-section aspect and time series aspect. Now, we have, if we go through our data set, we'll find that there are two dummies that we have used. One is cross-section dummy. So it begins with, there are 18 farms. So we have used 1 to 18 labeling the 18 private sector commercial banks. Now, in the first 18 rows, leaving the heading row, in the first 18 row, we have considered the data corresponding to all the 18 banks for year 2014-15. So this is indicated by this year column. All are showing this figure of 1. Now, that is followed by second year data. You can see that from Excel row 20, we have the year indicator as 2, and this continues up to '37. Remember that in our data set, we have begun with City Union Bank and we have ended with Yes Bank. Currently, we have 21 private sector banks operating in India, And this data set includes 18 of the banks. And for certain reasons, we had to drop, and that is part of our research exercise. We had to drop 3 banks from our data set. So this comprises of 18 of the 21 private sector banks which are operating in India. Now, so we have this cross-section dummy column that indicates the labels of the 18 banks. And we also have the year column, which indicates the year corresponding to which the data pertains. Does any participant have any query regarding this? He or she can ask me or say, send a query. If anybody is having any query. Our only purpose of using this year indicator variable and cross-section dummy indicator variable, these are to correctly identify the data corresponding to the one. You have to understand that there are 180 units. So some correspond to a particular year. Obviously, there is another dimension that is the fund dimension or bank dimension. So we have say 10 data series corresponding to a particular bank, and for any particular year we also have 18 observations. 18 set of observations, not 18 observations. But since we have multiple variables included in our data set, so we have 18 set of observations corresponding to the 18 banks for any particular. And obviously, since there are 10 years, we have a total of 180 bank year observation. It is called bank year observation. In case of farms, you can call it farm year observation. So this way, we have arranged our data set. Remember that this is a balanced panel. I can tell you, in some other softwares like Stata, you can also work with unbalanced panel data. But in Gretl, we have to restrict ourselves to balanced panel data. And from my research experience, I can tell you, it is always better to use balanced panel data. Unbalanced panel data means you can have, say, some banks for some years, which say, might have been included in the data set at a later stage. So that can be a possibility. There can be other possibilities as well. For some years, we have to, we might have to erase the data corresponding to a particular bank. This also arises in other cases also. One reason could be that your data corresponding to one or more variables may not be available for that particular. So in that case, you are having only an unbalanced parameter. And what I usually try, although this is not any formal rule, so it depends on the researcher's discussion or say a specific research objective, to use either unbalanced panel data or balanced panel. Now, let me, I have already clarified that in my case, it is a balanced panel data set. All banks observations are available for all the years, 10 years. Now, once we are done with this, we have to specify the panel time dimension. In our case, it is of annual dimension. Bank data are available annually. In some cases, in other cases, you might have quarterly data available because your query may be related to something else. Okay. Now, once I select the annual time dimension, we have to specify what is the first period. Now, since our data set corresponds to 10 financial years, and our financial years begin from 1st of April to 31st of March. So first year implies 2014 and 15. We often do one thing, that is we term it as 2015. This is because the year ends on 31st March of 2015. So the data is collected after the conclusion of the financial year end, that is after the conclusion of 31st March. So that is why we say that the first period is 2015. Once I select this, it will automatically calculate that the time dimension is 2015 to 2020. Let me tell you very frankly, that is, even if you write undated, it does not create any harm. That is, your results will not be altered. Now, once we are done with this, we have to consider this model tab. In model tab, let me first consider the OLS model. After that, I will go to the panel. In case of OLS, suppose we are trying to consider the impact of other variables on bank profitability. So we put return on asset as the dependent variable, and we consider other variables as independent. Now, we have two options. Either we can use standard, usual kind of standard error or standard deviation, or we can use robust model where data on the basis of data clustering, weighted standard error is calculated. Let us select this option. Now, we can get the results immediately. In our case, we find that apart from log of total asset, all others do have a p-value less than 0.05. So results are highly significant. Now, the R squared is unadjusted R squared is 0.593, and adjusted R square is 0.5839. And the software automatically calculates all other parameters of estimation. Now, coming to the model, we can check whether there is a multicollinearity problem or not. Now, multicollinearity problem, for checking that, we often calculate variance inflation factor. I hope the participants are already aware of VIF. Has it been covered? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But you can put some light on it.
If we
Refresh the.
well, let me tell you, if we want to define variance inflation factor, that is 1 by 1 minus R square, where R square is coefficient of determination. You are already aware of what is meant by R square. So 1 by 1 minus R square. Remember that if the variance inflation factor is less than 4, then does not imply as such the presence of multicollinearity. Usually, what is the benefit of using a panel data model is that a VIF usually has a value less than 4 in most of the cases, and very seldom we come across the problem of high VIF. See, 1 minus R square is called the tolerance level. So variance inflation factor is the inverse of the tolerance level. Now, if you want to inquire about multicollinearity in an advanced manner, so it also provides, I am not explaining this one, that is Wellesley Wells collinearity diagnostics, because it requires advanced treatment. For the basic beginners, we can consider the VIF factor as the benchmark for considering the multicollinearity issue. And for advanced knowledge about multicollinearity, no software would be enough. You can, if anybody is interested, since you are already introduced to machine learning, and I can tell you that anybody requiring further information, he or she can consider using our platform, and there is a very good package called MC test. Some faculties from Bangladesh, they developed MC test. So that can also be considered for making further inquiry about multicollinearity. It gives many other options which are not available either in Gretl or in Stata. Now, one benefit of using Gretl is that it is not available in other softwares like Stata, which you have to buy at a very high price. That is, by just clicking on this panel specification, you can compare panel data models which is not possible, as I told you, in other cases. Now, let me now consider the two famous fixed effect, two famous panel data models. One is called a fixed effect model, and second one is called a random effect. In case of fixed effect model, we have to take care of the cross-sectional difference. So one way of doing this is to allow different intercepts for different groups or different units. For example, in our case, there are 18 bands. We can consider 18 separate or different band-specific intercepts in the model. And that is done by using the fixed effect model. In our case, our Dependent variable is return on asset, and independent variables include efficiency, non-performing asset ratio, capital adequacy ratio, and log of total asset. Here also, we can consider robust standard rate. I remember that I have not introduced any lab. Here, you can see that the results are substantially different. And you can also find that the predictive ability of the model has improved significantly. Can you see from here? LSDB R square, LSDB implies least squares dummy variable model. That is, fixed effect model is also known as least square dummy variable. Earlier it was how much? It was 0.59. Now it has become 0.69. Actually, if you round off to 2 digits, it will come to 0.70. And the results are different also. In case of OLS, the efficiency variable was significant, but in the fixed effect model, it is no longer significant. Instead, two variables are there, which is one is an NPA ratio, and second one is CRAR, which are significant at the level of 95% level of confidence. And log total asset is significant only if you lower the benchmark to a level of 93%. Here they have by default the software has considered it has put only one star, that is it has considered a different benchmark for log of total asset, that is 90% level of confidence. So if you consider different degrees like 95%, if you increase it to 95%, then there are two variables which qualify for significance, that is both CRAR and NPA ratio. And if you increase it further to 99%, then only one variable that will still remains significant, that is NPA ratio. And remember that as we expect here, NPA ratio has a negative sign. Coefficient of NPA ratio has a negative sign. That is, as it is expected only, your return on asset is negatively related to NPA ratio. Why? The reason is that, what is NPA ratio? NPA ratio is proportion of non-performing asset to the total advance. Okay. Now, whenever there is NPA, then there is no income recognized on that non-performing asset. So, if you have increase in the proportion of NPA in the asset pool of a bank, what happens is that the bank has a higher proportion of asset which does not yield any income. So, in that case, you expect a lower return on total asset for banks with non-performing assets. So, theoretically, it is like that. And we are also having a result similar to the concept. Second important thing in this particular case is that log of total asset, which is a proxy for bank size, that is having a negative influence on bank performance. That is, larger banks, larger private sector banks are having a lower profitability ratio compared to the banks with smaller size. So this is also to be considered. That is a case of a large institution. It often arises because of difficulty in management. That is, monitoring becomes a big issue. Banks are trying, as it is done in other fields also, the use of information technology is used. I mean, it is done with maximum possible extent in order to avoid the problem of monitoring. So it is being compensated through a better system of use of IT and obviously AI. But in spite of that, we've seen that bank performance is negatively, I mean, profit performance is negatively impacted by log of profit. Okay. So this is one model that we can consider. That is, here we assume that each bank has its idiosyncratic features which are different from the other banks, or firm-specific features which are different from other banks. Just as no two persons are similar or same, they have their own features. Similarly, no two banks or no two firms are identical. They have their own characteristics. So that is one important factor that influences performance, or that shapes the working parameters which are displayed by the firm. Second model which is available to us in our case is to use the random method. Here also, we can use the robust standard error. Results are similar. Sorry, there's been a mistake. Here the results are different. Here again, the results are similar to that of food wages. Remember that Gretl as such does not provide the, I mean, R square or R bar square in case of random effects model, because there are certain issues with the estimation of R bar square in case of random effect. Anybody, I cannot take up that issue in such a short span of time, and any researcher who is interested to know about this needs to study further why this is not very relevant in the context of random effect model. Let me tell you very frankly that in case you are want to get this estimate, you can replicate the whole thing in other softwares like Stata, and there you can get the R bar square, which you will not get in case of Gretl. but I mean, getting the Hofmann test results, which is done to compare the fixed effect model with random effect model, that is much more straightforward in case of Gretl. So this is a unique advantage. In case of other software like Stata, you have to say first say start with a fixed effect model, then store the estimate in the system, then you compute the random effect model, and then by putting the Hofmann test command, you get the results. Here, it comes automatically with, the beauty of Gretl is that it comes automatically with the random effect model results. And here, we will find that it proceeds with a null hypothesis that the GLS random effect estimates are consistent and computes the chi-square value, and which is giving you a result that p value is 0.0013131. And since it is less than 0.05, the null hypothesis, that is random effect model, is consistent, is rejected. So in the present case, shows that we should go with the fixed effect. Now, I consider other models as well. Apart from fixed or random effects model, we can consider certain other models. One model is the weighted least square. The advantage of using weighted least square model is that we often have heteroscedasticity problem in the estimation procedure. So instead of applying the least square models in the context of panel data, obviously we are using panel data model. We can consider the weighted least square. It gives us a different result. That is, it puts that all explanatory variables are significant. And we need to make further investigation regarding which model is really, in real sense, is better. But my objective in the present context is to make you aware of the different estimation possibilities. It can be done with Gretl. Now, coming to panel data model, we have so far considered static panel data. Often, there are dynamics involved in the relationship between the dependent variable and the independent variable, and presence of auto-regression. That is, present period performance is determined by past period performance. And for that, you cannot proceed with a static panel data. Gretl has the feature of using the dynamic panel data model, that is, and you can also include time dummies. We have considered an autoregressive order of 1. And supplementary inquiry, it is 1. And you can, that is, present period return on asset is determined by 1 period lagged profitability. The ROA is dependent on ROA T minus 1. ROA T is dependent on ROA T minus 1. Apart from that, we have also considered usual explanatory variables comprising of efficiency, NPA ratio, capital adequacy ratio, and log of total loss. We find that in the present context,
Professor Ram, sorry for inconvenience, sir. We have having with only 5 minutes next, and after that we have to start valedictory session. If you could conclude,
this is
thank you.
the last thing that I am handling.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
I'm also looking at the time continuous. So in the present context, we'll find that apart from these, the time dummy of T6, that is also very significant. I mean, as significant at 90% level of confidence, not very significant. And return on asset, period T minus 1, NPA ratio, and CRAL, they are significant at 95% degree of confidence. So these are some of the important models which we can estimate with Gretl. And apart from this, let me tell you very frankly that in Gretl, just as in the case of Stata, in case of Gretl also, there are many user-written softwares which you can easily add from the Gretl software package, and you can go to help, and from that you have to just click on these packages and click on this on server, and you can, by adding the packages related packages on server, you can get many other options which are, in my case, I can show you in the context of panel data. I can estimate using fixed effect Poisson model, Tobit random effect model. We can add panel co-integration test and dynamic binary choice model, which are, if you plain vanilla, Gretl will not provide these options, but these are only available in the context of, once you go for that package option and select some additional softwares which are available on server. Okay, so with this, I conclude my discussion, and I would ask if there is any query from the participants.
Yes, sir. So there are two queries in the chat box, and one is why log transformation is needed.
Okay, and second one?
And second one is, can we estimate cross-sectional dependency in Gretl?
Yes, in case of log transformation is needed. First thing, see, if you have different we are using different kinds of data which are used in the, the data are estimated using different units of measurement, and by due to the nature of the variable, some variables do have very high values. All observations are of very high values, and remember that we are using them with ratios. When you calculate return on asset, that is a ratio. When you estimate efficiency, that is also a ratio. When you use capital adequacy, that is also a ratio. So when we try to relate some the heterogeneous variables, so some of which are ratios and some of are absolute values, it is always better to use log of the as total assets or related variables. There are other methods like box-Cox transformation. You can also go for box-Cox transformation, but usually it is done more in case of variables where they have upper or lower bounds. That is, you must have already studied about qualitative response models like Probit, Tobit, or logit regression. So it can be considered as another option to these models. And regarding the second one, that is cross-sectional dependency, you can easily calculate from here. I mean, there is, once you make the estimation, there is just 1 second. Cross-sectional dependence. So PESAD and CD test for cross-sectional dependence, you get these test statistics with p-values. So that can be calculated using Gretl. Okay. So I think there is no other query. Is there any other query?
Yes.
Or?
If anybody else want to ask, and simply you can unmute yourself and ask directly. Any participant. I think, sir, no one is here who want to ask any question, and I think yes. Anybody else? No one. Okay. Thank you, Professor Ram. And you have explained wonderfully the features of panel data, Gretl, and its application, its uses, and how the software is different from other software, and some precautions as well. And thank you for this lecture. And you organize your presentation very well, and it was you were running the presentation very smoothly. And I also extend my thanks to Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, Jindal Center for Global South, and OP Jindal University for arranging such a wonderful workshop. And earlier, as Dr. Firdaus were suggesting that we are sparing our time in Sunday, I would like to say something on this, that if we want to learn something, definitely we should have time. Like many of the participants of this workshop would be PhD scholars. And if we see the etymology of the scholar, it comes from the Greek word that is free time, layer. If we should have a quest to know for something, definitely we should have time, even if it is Sunday. And I think from this workshop, and we can take this point that no matter if these softwares take time to learn, but definitely if we have courage to learn, if we have determined to learn these software, then we can do it. And now I think I over to Dr. Firdaus for the next session. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Jaskaran, for your lovely words. I again, on behalf of the Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, Jindal Center for Global South, a heartfelt thank you to Professor Pratap Singh for conducting an insightful and practical session on panel data analysis using the great Gretl software. Your expertise and clear explanation have provided with a deeper understanding of this important topic. We would be liking to have more sessions from you, and for future collaboration, definitely I will be reaching you personally. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Jaskaran, my friend, for your sorry, for your excellent moderation during this session, ensuring a smooth flow of discussion and engagement from all the participants. Thank you for both of you, Professor Ram Pratap Singh and Dr. Jaskaran, for your valuable contribution to this workshop. Thank you very much. So now I would like to, call Dr. Bhagirath, who is the backbone of this workshop. The planning goes to him. So over to you. Meanwhile, I will request to all our resource persons who have joined us, kindly on your camera, as we are planning to develop archives for our Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association. So right now, I request only our resource persons to on their camera. Rest, they can off their camera for a while. Only our resource persons, because we want to develop something unique from this workshop as a motivation, as a memory for our future endeavors. So requesting only our resource persons who have been our resource persons, our guest speakers from 13th October to till 20. I am requesting them only to open their cameras. One by one we are taking. So rest of they can off the camera. So I think people are unable to do it themselves. That we do it for them.
We request the speakers to please switch on the camera and come properly in front of the screen or adjust the screen accordingly. And we request Dr. Malik, moderators are not supposed to switch on, correct?
No, moderators can be there.
Okay, moderators also please switch on your camera. Come properly in front. I can see Mr. Ravi. You are not properly. Yeah, now you are. So everybody please adjust your camera. It's a wonderful memory that we want to capture. Dr. Malik, now whosoever is there, I think you can go ahead with.
I am requesting participants for a while if they can, off the camera. Participants. It is humble request to the participants. They can off the camera. We are just capturing now for resource persons and moderators only. So I think some people are taking time. Let me do some activity manually. So meanwhile, if there is any feedback from our moderators and resource persons, they can jump quickly.
Yeah, we invite firstly our moderators. If any moderator would like to come live and share their experience, in short, of course, in very short and brief, please come forward.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. This session with Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, this entire workshop of 8 days has been really a great workshop. We have, as moderators and as participants, have learned a lot, have interacted and had opportunity to gain information, knowledge, and insights from speakers around the world. I would request Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association to please keep conducting these kind of workshop for novice researchers as me, and I am sure all the moderators and participants would agree with it. I thank Dr. Malik and Dr. Baria for the wonderful coordination and providing opportunities to young scholars like us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr. Vachi.
So anyone can jump next. Actually, our organization is quite a young organization. We have actually announced it only this year. So I think this is our fourth event. And few days we are having international conference. Let me announce that. So we want to learn and we want to be competitive. And our mission is to empower research and make it reach to the last, and to turn the last mile around so that our effort will reach to the people who are unable to access this type of workshops. So therefore we will be needing your guidance to be competitive and to be a successful organization across the globe, not only in India.
So, Dr. Malik, I think we can have the photograph first because I think all the speakers and moderators are live, and then we can go for feedback from participants.
Yeah, I have done that. All the photographers of our session moderators and research person already I have taken. So now let us have a big group photos. I invite all participants, open their camera and quickly jump, but only those who are in a suitable position. We want a good photographers. So those participants who are sleeping around or not able to properly open their camera, so they are requested not to open. So we are waiting. We are just taking few minutes of yours, and yes, participants who are able to open their camera, they can. We are having one frame ready. Please smile. Meanwhile, participants are invited. If they are having feedback, they can introduce themselves and quickly hear their feedback about this workshop.
Dr. Malik, I think some participants are saying that host has changed the camera settings and they are unable to switch on the camera. Is it so?
So, IT, we are requesting you, please allow us now. This is our last moment going on. So, allow our participants to open the camera. So, I think it will be not like this because we are having most of the participants with us.
No, some others are saying that video is working properly. So I don't think there is any problem. Yes.
Yeah, photograph session is over now. I would love to hear from the participants any feedback, any shortcomings about this workshop, or something you want to contribute us in future. Please go ahead.
Participants can unmute themselves, quickly introduce and share a line or two about their experience in the workshop.
I think they are hurrying.
Hi, my name is Ajay Girvani. It is lucky I found that this workshop it deal very good with the econometrics, heteroscedasticity, multicollinearity, OLS, and luckily this was the thing which I require for my research work. I am very early researcher and just doing the literature reviews and all, and found that these methods are going to be very helpful to me. Thank you, JNK Economic Association and Bhagirat sir and Firdos Malik sir. Very great session. I hope that such sessions and specifically the session dealing a particular software would be conducted. And thank you for keeping the price very affordable thank you, sir. Very great sessions.
So we are having Dr. Ismat Naseem. Yes, please go ahead.
Hello all. I would like to say that I'm joining this workshop right away from Pakistan. And initially, I was not too much interested and I was not too much aware the significance of this workshop, I must say. But I think it is one of the best workshop I have. And being a teacher of economics and econometrics, I'm not saying that this workshop was not useful for me, but actually it is adding so much to my knowledge that, believing me, their sky is the limit, and definitely we have to go so far and grab such opportunities that came around. So thank you so very much, all the organizers, Dr. Firdaus, Dr. Bagheera, and all. So thank you so very much. And that's all.
Thanks for your lovely word. So anyone? So do we have anyone?
There are a lot of
So I
people writing many positive and great comments in the chat box. Jessie OP has raised hand. Jessie OP, please unmute yourself.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much for the session. All these days, it was really useful and fruitful session. Especially Dr. Bhagirat Baria, his class, econometric class was wonderful, simplified. He has simplified all the concepts. Personally, I was able to understand nicely the concept, and now I am able to relate to my research area also. All resource persons, they have done well, and suggestion or request from my side, it would be better if you are able to continue workshop like this, especially on the newly introduced softwares. Like Madam introduced JABS, it was good. I felt that it is a friendly software, and Gretl also. So only for those software updation or knowledge, how can we gain knowledge in practically, if Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association is able to conduct workshop like this, it would be a great help for all of us. At the same time, any international conference or any paper publication facilities also from Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, if it is doing, let us know about that also. Overall, it was really good and it was useful. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jessie OP madam. And before Dr. Kirti Singh says, I would like to take the leniency with permission of Dr. Malik and share that we are very much in the planning stage of another workshop where we are going to focus purely on econometric technologies. Each day will have one econometric technology fully focused upon, and we'll train you in that. So I'm sure Dr. Malik will share later on about it very soon. So we are working on that. Thank you so much. Dr. Kirti Singh, please unmute yourself.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm working as an assistant professor in Delhi University. So I have learned a lot during this workshop. The only thing I want to say that detailed analysis, like detailed workshop is required. Various software like introduced, like big data analysis and everything. It was so wonderful and it was so insightful that I must thank Dr. Firdos and Dr. Bhagirat for the same. And I must thank Jammu and Kashmir. That's it. And thank you so much. Thank you.
So thank you very much, all the participants, so for your positive feedback. I am replying to the last query about the conference and publication opportunity. For your reference, I have shared the Jammu and Kashmir link upcoming event. We are having conference which is in line on 26 and 27. That is conference is in hybrid mode, and where we are having Scopus Q2 and Scopus and edited book with Springer and Palgrave. We are having IEEE publication opportunities also. The duration is very short, but I do not know how you can prepare to register for that conference. But for your reference, I have shared the link in the chat box. The conference will be in New Delhi, Lingas Vidyapith University on 26, but on 27 it will be hybrid. If you are interested, go through the link, check the themes, and submit the paper. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Bhagirat, for a vote of thanks.
All right, Dr. Malik, thank you so much for handing over the session. And now, as you all know, we have reached the very beautiful end of a wonderful workshop, and an 8 days long journey now comes to a fruitful conclusion. A lot of things were discussed, lot of topics were examined, a lot of dimensions were looked into. The fundamental purpose and philosophy of this workshop was to introduce you to empirical methods in social sciences. And we decided to pitch the idea from scratch, from the most basics and fundamentals. So I, first of all, before I give my formal vote of thanks, let me quickly give you a very, very quick revision of what we have covered. We started with the session, keynote sessions, two wonderful, compact, high quality keynote sessions delivered to you, one on the fundamentals of research skills that are required at any level of research, whether you are a beginner, intermediate, or an advanced researcher. We also looked at the issue of data sovereignty, and Professor Shanmugan and Professor Hebatala Adam gave wonderful sessions capturing multi-dimensional issues in a very, very practical, easy to understand manner. Then we started with the workshop, a full-scale workshop with day one covering Dr. Parmeet's session on the fundamentals of applied statistics. This session gave you an overview of what statistical skills are required to be able to learn econometrics well. Microsoft Excel was introduced to you. Thereafter, there were two sessions by myself, one on how econometric modeling is to be done. What are the fundamental theoretical, technical, and philosophical elements? And we also learned about Gretl at that time. The next session was again by myself, where we developed the classical econometric model, which remains the foundation of econometric science and quantitative sciences in general. You need to understand the classical econometric model, its foundations, its assumptions, its nature, and all other econometric methods are developments or improvements in that classical econometric model. As understood, we got into how or what happens when the classical linear econometric model is not fulfilled, when the assumptions are violated. We looked into Dr. Jasmeet Kaur Lama's very, very insightful session where she introduced you to multicollinearity and heteroscedasticity issue. She used state-of-the-art econometric technology to show you practically how you handle these two issues when you're sitting as a researcher, doing the work on the ground. We then looked into two sessions, consecutive sessions by Dr. Harsh Sahai on autocorrelation and model misspecification, as well as on an introduction to time series econometrics. In both the cases, we discussed about how R can be used to handle these kind of issues. Again, the classical linear econometric model is being improved upon, if you understand this. We then went into two wonderful and frontier issues in econometric science, big data and machine learning issues, where Mr. Lucky Pandey and Mr. Dwarkesh Panchal introduced both the issues, big data analytics and machine learning respectively. Very compact, very, very insightful, crisp sessions. Definitely gave you a feel of what you need to do and what can be done when you learn modern econometrics well. Finally, we ended the journey with an erudite authority amongst ourselves, Professor Pratap Sinha, one of the highest cited authors in his area of study. He introduced us to panel econometrics, and you saw the beauty with which he handled. I mean, you can go on asking him things, and he would go on getting deeper and deeper into the issues. And Gretl happened to come on the scene once again, and that's a wonderful thing. I sincerely thank all the speakers. Firstly, I thank Dr. Firdaus Malik for taking up this idea with me, motivating me, and always standing to help the larger academic community. Hats off to his passion to help, passion to promote good quality, high quality research, and most importantly, his seriousness in the work. Since point one, he has been serious about the workshop, and no compromise has been done on any aspect of the workshop, be it sending you regular letters, emails, joining links, every day generating a joining link, sending it separately to speaker, moderator, and participants, interacting with me, working out the other modalities of the workshop, planning of the things, executing them. Hats off to you, Dr. Malik. I sincerely thank the Jammu and Kashmir Economics Association, and I believe, I'm sure Dr. Malik might agree with me, I believe I am a very active part of JKEA now, and together we are working hard to create a wonderful environment for young, emerging, as well as seasoned researchers to interact, share knowledge, and grow. Let us all grow together. I sincerely convey my thanks to the Jindal Center for the Global South, the OP Jindal University, and Jindal School of International Affairs. Thank you, all of you, for giving us this platform and allowing us to share our knowledge, ideas, and perspectives with the large number of national and international participants. And of course, we cannot forget to thank each of the speaker and moderator, starting from our keynote speakers, Dr. K. Shanmugan, Dr. Hebatal Adam, then Dr. Parmeet Kumar Vinith, then Ms. Dipti Bapna, Mr. Oves Ismail, Dr. Jasprit Kumar Kaur Lamba, Ms. Shivangi Priya, Dr. Harsh Sahai, Mr. Ravi Luhar, Dr. Neha Pandya, my very good colleague, Mr. Lucky Pandey, Ms. Divanshi Mehta, Mr. Dwarkesh Panchal, Dr. Chanda Gulati, of course, Professor Ram Pratap Sinha, Dr. Jaskaran Singh. And lastly, we cannot forget the wonderful participation given by all of you, the enthusiasm, the continuous commitment to learning and improving yourselves, keeping us motivated to keep working hard, pushing ourselves. I think we undertook a wonderful, compact international workshop, and it's a feeling of pride and happiness that we all came together and shared so much of knowledge. I believe this is just the beginning, and there are millions of miles to go further. Dr. Malik, I hand over the session for final conclusion to you.
Thank you very much. So let me, put forward the straight, straight forward the word is that without you, this workshop was not possible. So again, General Center for Global South, they were also the backbone who have helped us to organize this workshop smoothly. They have provided us the platform Zoom. They, once we were, pre-planning this workshop, there were many institutions who asked us, let us, collaborate. But at the end, they were one way or other way unsuccessful to, join the objectives, what objective or what mission we are carrying. So there are so many institutions across the globe. They are for the sake of workshop, conducting the workshop and conference. But our philosophy is totally different. We want to empower, we want to make the things, very affordable and accessible to all. That is why we are serious. If anybody was doing, any sort of indiscipline, then we were getting, aggressive and want not to have it, this indiscipline, so that our people on work will get stopped, or the disturbance will hinder us to work soon. So I again, once again for all the resource persons and moderators, they have joined the hands. At one quick request, they have been available at our disposal and contributed in such a wonderful workshop. So thanks once again to all the participants, all the resource persons, all the moderators, the great institution, the Center, General Center for Global Center, OP Jindal University itself. So we are coming soon with new announcements, new event. So stay, connected with us. Visit our website, Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association. There will be daily updates on our LinkedIn page about the recordings, about the photograph session, and everything will be available at your disposal. So with these words, I am thanking you again. Now there are important queries that we can discuss without